Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking for support, Bitcoin at about $25,800 and Ethereum still hovering around that $1,600 mark. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are pretty much going sideways. There are a few rallies to the upside. Look at Radix looking pretty strong, some good momentum to the upside. However, guys, generally speaking, there's nothing much happening. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that is looking pretty good, and that is SYNTHETIX. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. The Discord is a great community, lots of good trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at what this market is giving us today, and we can use Bitcoin as an example of a nice retracement back to the bottom of the range. And this is how we build the sideways accumulation patterns in a bear market or a transitionary phase into the bull market. Basically, I believe that we are slowly building our transition into the bullish market, and it's going to take some time, guys. It's definitely going to take some time, and I believe that we're going to be given many opportunities to accumulate in undervalued scenarios. So Bitcoin coming down, perhaps Ethereum coming down, perhaps at critical levels, trying to hold that support, guys. So let's pay attention to these altcoins and Bitcoin, of course, because if it does break those critical levels, guys, we could be coming down for a little bit of a dip. And of course, happy Friday, guys. It is Friday. We're leading into the weekend. We know the weekend brings us very difficult trading opportunities in the sense that the order books are very thin, and we get a lot of that volatility. We know that the markets are easy to move during the weekend, so we do get a bit of chop, a bit of wicks, a bit of this, a bit of that, and it's not a very pleasant time to actually be trading. But nonetheless, you never know what can happen this weekend. We're going to have to pay attention. If we do break down from support, we could see a bit of a dip. Now, as we speak, we see a lot of green in this chop action. For some reason, CoinGecko shows it as a green scenario, but we're still within range, guys. If you look at these larger cap projects, they're definitely within range. We have Tron looking still bullish, still looking good, but I feel like maybe Tron is going to be showing some weakness in the next little while. But as we scroll down, we see a bit, of retracement back to the bottom of the range for Polygon, for Litecoin, for Sheep, for many projects. AVAX taking a bit of a dip. XLM still looking like it wants to climb to the upside, up 10% in the last 7 days. But nonetheless, guys, if the market decides to take a break and come down, I don't expect any of these altcoins to hold up. I'm expecting fire sales across the board. And of course, we'll take advantage of them. We'll be buying the dips, and that's the way we do it, guys, to buy low and sell high. And in order to buy low, you need to have some conviction that it is possible that maybe we do come down to those lower levels. And I'm definitely one of those individuals that want to be prepared for a dip if it does happen. What else do we have here? Atom taking a bit of a breather, maybe coming down. H-bar, Hedera hash graph, yeah, still within range. Quant, oh my God, back below that $100 mark, guys. Not looking really good, to be honest. Now, Quant has been respecting that $100 mark for a long time. Now, I'm expecting the trend to continue, that Quant, hovers around that level. But if it does break down, guys, I'm going to be ready, because the likelihood is that Quant bounces right back to $100 mark once again. Filecoin looks like the hang time is real. Maybe it wants to roll over and break down. CRO, maybe, top of the range right now, up 3% today. Pretty bullish considering the rest of the market is not showing us much green, right? So that's not bad, making a slightly higher high. Pretty cool there. But the rest of the market, as I keep on scrolling, you can see the chop action everywhere. Even, Aave looking okay, grinding to the upside. The graph, choppy. Kaspa taking a bit of a dip, guys. We talked about Kaspa yesterday significantly. I just want to make it very clear one last time. I am bullish on Kaspa. Fundamentally, I think it's great. Despite whatever the community has going on there, it doesn't matter. Caspa's still very, very bullish. I just feel like at the end of the day, a retracement is very healthy for any bull market or any bullish project, and they are meant to be bought, and that's what I'm going to be doing. At any point where I see Caspa undervalued, I will be scaling up my position and buying the dip. That's the reality here, guys. So Caspa getting a bit of a retracement after that analysis that we did last night live, guys. By the way, join me live at 7:30, guys. If you have any projects that you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests, live at 7:30. But yesterday we talked about Caspa, and we did identify that trade setup on the 1 hour that kind of looked this, it gave me a bit of confluence also on the 4 hour, and it played through. We got that bit of a dip, and right now that's what we're seeing here, a bit of weakness on Caspa, potentially coming down to the bottom of the range. So we'll see what's happening with Caspa, and of course, if you want me to talk about Caspa tonight on the live stream, feel free to come over and request. All right, let's continue. Algorand taking a bit of a dip too, but still the trend now, 3 impulses to the upside, or 2 impulses up. Maybe the structure is going to be coming down, who knows. But right now Algorand, it is at the bottom of the range. It took a big beating. It's been looking like pretty much doing nothing, and we need some of these larger layer ones to wake up, show us some proof of life, right? Today's video is all about SNX, SYNTHETIX Network, and we see that SYNTHETIX is taking a bit of dip after a nice 14% rally to the upside in the last 7 days, guys. So it has been showing a bit of strength, but in the last little while, a bit of a dip. So this is the thing, guys. Should we be looking for that opportunity to scale in? When are we going to look for that opportunity? When should we be scaling in? And that's what we're going to cover today, okay? So hang tight. First, we'll look at the general market. We'll use Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart to see if it can give us an edge to help us with our SYNTHETIX, analysis, and then we'll continue getting into SYNTHETIX, right, and coming up with a plan. Let's continue here, going sideways. A lot of these right now, you can see stacks, immutable X, multiverse X, Theta network looking okay, but still not really that strong, to be honest. Sandbox, BitGet rolling over, maybe. Radix, I'm liking it. Radix got another leg up after the consolidation. We did talk about that it was very possible, but overall, I don't think it's ready. I think I want to wait to see what happens after this, correction to the upside, and then maybe start scaling in once we come and maybe sweep those lows. I want to see how Radix holds up from an impulse to the downside from the bears. This is the first bullish impulse that Radix has had since the big dip. So I want to see how the bears are going to respond to this bullish impulse, and if it makes a lower low, I'll consider scaling in once again. Injective, wow, taking a bit of a dip here below the previous consolidation, not looking really good, down 2%. I know it's only 2%, but the structure, the way it looks, I'm not feeling it. That's not looking the greatest. Maybe we should take a look at Injective tonight. I'm going to put it on the list. And I'm going to put the ones that you request in top priority, but right now I'm going to put Injective on the list. Phantom also at the bottom of the range. What about if it breaks down below those previous lows? Not looking good. Decentraland coming down. Render got a bit of relief to the upside in the last little while, but it's still hovering around $1.44. It's now looked like it wants to roll over, so I'm keeping an eye on Render. I want to hit Render at about $1.20, give or take. I'll be buying a bit more and scaling my bag up because I did take a significant amount of profits, and I want to be able to buy my position back. So I'm going to be looking at Render very soon once it hits my buy target. Thorchain, Rune, maybe getting that rollover very soon. It does look a bit top heavy. The hang time is definitely there. You can see those double top scenario with a little bit of bearish divergence. Maybe we should be breaking down. I'm going to put Rune on the list as well. Rune looking good. Looking for price action, guys. That's what we're looking for, is price action. Continue coming down. What else do we have? Chili's not interested. Gala, maybe Gala's holding support here, going sideways, planking, maybe. And the thing is, if you get into a long position, you have a very healthy risk to reward ratio in the sense that you can put a nice tight stop loss, and of course, if we have a bit of a volume gap above, it might look good for a nice swing or a nice pop to the upside. So I'll be taking a look at a lot of these projects tonight for sure. We'll take a look. These exchange tokens grinding to the upside. BTT, look at that pump and dump that we saw the other day. Holy smokes. Went up and straight down back to the bottom. That's unfortunate. All right, guys. A lot of these projects right now, DYDX dipping down, a lot of these projects are still within their range or even dipping down, or, there are a few that are looking okay, but I'm not confident in this market, and I don't know what you guys see. Let me know what you guys feel in the comment section below regarding this market. I personally feel that I have time. I feel like there's no, urgency right now for me to be getting in heavy. I can DCA in comfort. I can be doing a bit of research on some of these projects, and you know what? In the bear market, that's the best place and time to do it. So why not? And there's no urgency. I'll be DCAing at every dip, and that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, guys, let's talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis on Bitcoin. Of course, we're going to use Bitcoin as an indicator to help us, come up with a plan for SNX Synthetics. But we can see Bitcoin going sideways. We did get a little bit of a pop to the upside, a temporary bull run. We got that. Everybody was calling, bull run, time. But at the end of the day, this full retracement, railroad track type of retracement is not looking good at the end of the day. We do see that the momentum is still trekking to the upside while this price action is still going sideways. So it is still very possible that we might get another pop to the upside. It could happen until we get fully reset to overbought condition. I am still going to expect that the bulls are going to want to push the price for another pop up. But if it gets rejected again, guys, it's not looking good. And eventually when we get that full reset to overbought conditions, guys, it's time to see what the bears are going to do. And given the fact that the bulls didn't do much so far, it's very likely that the bearish sentiment, when the bearish momentum kicks in, could really bring down that price. So we're going to take a look. We're definitely going to try to stay one step ahead of the market and use Bitcoin as that indicator. Right now, it's still at that level. Nothing really interesting. The market is being bored away from this, crypto space. So this is something that, unfortunately, people start leaving the market and not being very interested. But we're going to, try to keep engaged and keep focused because this is the time to build. All right, guys, let's take a look at Synthetics. Let's do a quick update on Bitcoin. We can talk about Bitcoin a little bit more tonight, but Synthetics. What's going on here with Synthetics? It's basically in consolidation. You can see that it's actually playing out to be very symmetrical. Symmetrical triangles do have a bias, and the bias is towards where the trend is coming from. So in this case, we impulse down. We have a nice symmetrical triangle so far. It looks fairly symmetrical, and the likelihood is that it is basically a continuation to the downside, right? A bearish pennant, bearish flag, bearish pennant, whatever you want to call it. Symmetrical triangles are continuation patterns, and as we get closer to the apex of this triangle, the likelihood is that we get that breakdown. 70% way to the apex is usually where we get that reaction. And you can see that, we were basically coming down. Momentum is coming down while the price action is going up. So far that bullish divergence is definitely there. Sorry, that hidden bullish divergence, price action going up while the RSI is coming down. So far looking pretty good. I don't know. I feel like it could be possible that we get a little bit of a pop to the upside and break out, but this range was a nice range. Nice range. We identified the higher highs in the price action and lower highs in the RSI. Okay, so that for me, starting to show me that we do have some divergence happening here. And then ultimately, this confirmation low, a higher low, which is pretty good because we're holding support right at this level, at previous price action, previous high, a bit of a level that we identified here at the top or the beginning of the supply and demand, which is pretty much the top of a volume gap, because below here you can see there's very little volume. It starts to diminish significantly. So what I'm really looking at here is a potential bounce to the upside, a continuation up eventually. I would like to see the daily fully overbought eventually, which means that we are very likely to get back to range highs on Synthetics, which is at about $3.10, $3.12. But again, I would be quick to front run those, take profit. And of course, I would be expecting an eventual breakout out of this symmetrical triangle, which technically speaking, it would be really nice to see this thing break out bullish, because if you look above, there's not much volume above. There's a bit of a gap here, which is nice to see. If we break above, TP's at about $1.74, TP at about $3.18, $3.74. Those are pretty good TP zones, given that we do have a weak spot that we can blast right through. But above it, guys, look at this. There's not much support or resistance. There's a bit of spikes here, a few spikes here that we need to be aware of. There's a nice volume gap right around this zone. I'm going to highlight that really quickly. Nice volume gap that if we break above with some good convictions, we do have some weak spots. And even here's a bit of a volume gap that we need to be aware of, that if we break above this previous high, we can snap to a bit of a higher level at about $4.90. So these are all good zones to keep an eye on overall, right? So we're going to put a weak spot here, and we're we're gonna kind of gently place a box right in here to keep us in tune with the fact that, look, there's a bit of a weak spot here, and we have the golden pocket right here. All this zone is not bad of a scenario, right? So we need to break out of this area with some conviction to potentially break to higher levels and, you know, enter these volume gaps where there's no resistance for a continuation to the upside. But on the daily, you can see that the momentum already began its ascent. It already began its pump to the upside without the price action actually moving. So that for me is an opportunity here to see that the momentum is gathering while the price action is hesitating. So we might be preparing for a liftoff here. We're at a good consolidation zone, right? Not bad of a scenario. Some people may argue, look, it doesn't look so good because we're consolidating and it looks like a bearish flag or continuation pattern. It's very possible, but from a bullish perspective, some may argue, okay, at least let's get back to the top of the range. And if we get back to that top of the range, what kind of percent are we talking about? Let's take a measured move, more or less. Let's say we get our entry again at $2 and something, $2.05, $2.10, whatever, right around there, and you take profit at the top of the range. Let's front run it a little bit. 50% gains, even if you front run this whole range system, right? This whole consolidation could be a nice 50% swing if you were able to get a nice entry at the bottom of the range. So your entry is very, very important because at the end of the day, you want to get in at the whole move, right? So I think this backtest on the momentum right now is quite interesting. Given the fact that it's in the 50% zone on the RSI, it's the chop zone. So we could potentially see Synthetics go sideways for the next little while in the lower time frames, or we could see a full retracement here and come back and give us another opportunity to scale in at good prices, right? So let's get into the 4 hour for a second, and you can see that this is on a full-on retracement. No bearish divergence just yet. We do have higher highs on the price action and higher highs on the RSI, so no bearish divergence whatsoever. We are currently in this volume gap empty zone where we could potentially come down a slightly lower to about $2.10. And again, guys, that's, you know, not a bad entry given the fact that we have some bottoms. We have the bottom of the volume gap, you can see right here. So it's not a bad, and by that time we may see this RSI fully reset to oversold conditions, and we may see this MACD finally show some, you know, indications that the bears are showing some weakness, maybe an EMA cross, maybe we start to see some green histogram bars, and maybe some pale pink histogram bars might give us that indication that it is the turnover or the pivot is soon to come. So we're gonna look at MACD, we're gonna look at the RSI, but I think we're a bit ahead here, and we should be looking for a potential long position right around this area. But if we go back into the daily, right now you can see that my bias is going to be long because the EMAs on the MACD are still facing up and nice and green, and the histograms are green. The RSI didn't get a full reset to overbought, leaving the oversold scenario with a nice bullish divergence out of this consolidation. The price action was downward sloping while the RSI was basically upward sloping, and so was the MACD. So looking pretty good with this divergence on the daily, and we got the follow through. Now we're going to get the back test. Let's get that confirmation low, the higher low, and then start scaling in for potential full bounce, full retracement, or full leg to the upside where we can get to again right to the top of the range. So we can see some confluence here. The daily is looking for a back test, possibly staying within, you know, a chop zone, which is totally healthy right here. But that means that we might be able to trade the 4 hour back to the bottom of the range. And again, we can see that on the 4 hour that it's looking like it wants to get oversold. So a lot of confluence here for a potential retracement, a lot of confluence here for a potential bounce to the upside. So it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we're looking for a really good setup here overall on Synthetics, and yeah, overall the MACD on the synthetic on the 4 hour is EMAs facing down, red histogram bars. So overall looking good. Now, what about big picture? Let's zoom out significantly. We're just looking at this consolidation, guys. Look what happened. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, look what's happening here. You know, we did break down below previous lows. We have one low here, and I just want to make it clear that sometimes looking at the risk to reward ratio in terms of invalidation is the best strategy. You have one bottom, another bottom, and you know that if we made another bottom basically or broke this bottom, or a lower low in this case, it would basically insinuate that we're coming down to way lower levels. So you understand the significance and importance of holding steady above this level, which is at about $1.40. if we stay above, guys, it's not bad. It's not a bad accumulation area to expect, the overall price to continue bouncing to the upside. And you can put a tight invalidation right below the 140 and stop your losses just in case it does decide to make that lower low. And you can see this trade setup is what I was kind of saying previously a while ago, right? The bottoms are here. Your invalidation is quite clear. If you get in, if you happen to get in anywhere at these bottoms, you're basically, your trade could be easily protected by people putting a very tight stop loss right below and getting into a very healthy risk to reward ratio. Believe me, it's all about risk management, and the bulls don't want to take any risk, and this is a really good area to mitigate risk. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't, support the channel by slapping that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to join me live at 7:30 Eastern tonight, you have an opportunity to request any projects that you're interested in. So I'll see you tonight. Of course, if you want to join that Discord, the Discord is a great community, guys. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Go check it out, guys. Lots of good opportunities there. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.